This is my second logical possibilities video. And we're going to do exactly the same thing in this video as we did in the last video, except we're going to make one little change. Okay? Obviously, we're going to have the same two boxes. Two boxes. Okay? We're going to have the same 6 books. 3 of which have blue covers, 3 of which have green covers. And when I talk about the blue and the green, you're talking about the books with the blue covers and the books with the green covers, obviously, okay? Now then, you're going to put 2 blue books and 1 green book in the first box. Then you're going to put 2 green books and 1 blue book in the second box, okay? Now then, the only change we're going to make is this. We're going to have 4 pieces of paper. On 2 of those pieces of paper, you're going to write the number 1. On the other 2 pieces of paper, you're going to write the number 2. You're going to tape the number 1 pieces of paper on this book right here and this book right here. You're going to tape the number 2 pieces of paper onto this book right here and this book right here. Now, how does that change all of this? Well, your logical table gets a lot bigger. That's how it changes. Voila! Let me make sure you can see this. Okay, I'll turn this just a pinch like that. Now you can see it. Alright, now how does this work? Well, now, you're not just saying, hey, we drew 2 books out of the box, and some of them were blue and some of them were green. Now you're saying, alright, what's the possibility that the first book I draw out of that box is going to be the blue number 1, and the second book I draw out of this box is going to be the blue number 2? Because remember, you have a number 1 taped to one of those blue books and a number 2 taped to the other one. Alright? So in case number 1, the first book you draw out has a blue cover and a number 1 on it. And then the second book you draw out has a blue cover and it has a number 2 on it. What about over here? Well, this time you drew the blue book out that has the number 2 on it first, and then you drew out the blue book that has the number 1 on it. Case number 3. So this time you drew out the blue book with the number 1 on it, and then you drew out the green book. Case number 4. Now you've drawn out the blue book that has the number 2 on it, then you drew out the green book. Case number 5. Now you've drawn out the green book, and then you drew out the blue book with the number 1 on it. In case number 6, you drew out the green book, then you drew out the blue book with the number 2 on it. You see how it gets a little more complicated? Now what about 7 through 12 here? Well, this is referring to the second box. Remember, all of these refer to the first box. Now these are going to refer to the second box. If you'll remember, the second box, and it's right over here. Remember, this was box number 1, this was box number 2. And in box number 2, you have 2 green books and a blue book. This green book has a number 1 on it, this green book has a number 2 on it. Okay, let's go through this. In this case, the first book you draw out is the blue book, but the second book you draw out is the green book with the number 1 on it. In case number 8, you draw out the blue book first, and then you draw out the green book that has a number 2 on it. In case number 9, you draw out the green book that has the number 1 on it, then you draw out the blue book. In case number 10, you draw out the green book which has the number 2 on it, and then you draw out the blue book. In case number 11, you draw out the green book which has the number 1 on it, then you draw out the green book which has the number 2 on it. And then in case number 12, you draw out the green book which has the number 2 on it, and the green book that has the number 1 on it. You see how all that works? Alright, I'm going to tell you more in a future video, so stay tuned.